Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to look at the quarterly earnings of the Costco Wholesale, which is having the wind in its sails, and it is going to cover the distance as the look of it. At the moment in today's trading session, it is more than 2 percentage point higher, and if we look at its jump since the release of its quarterly earnings, that's quite a big rise in its share price, which I think has still more room for the upward movement, and in coming days we can expect this momentum to last. And not only days, I think if we consider its trajectory for the weekly and the monthly charts, we will see that its momentum is bullish. And in course of this session, we are going to look at the key levels which we can watch out, which we can consider going forward for the optimum trading opportunities. First, we consider its quarterly report, which was released on the 14th of this month. In it, it has detailed its operating results, which were quite good for the past quarter, where its revenues have jumped substantially. There is increase in its sales across the board, and in a difficult macroeconomic environment where the inflation has been quite high, it has managed to keep the merchandise inflation low, and that has driven more and more people to its stores, its wholesale retail complexes, and it has driven the loyal customer base to stick to the Costco to derive the benefit of not much price rise seen its store goods, and that has propelled its revenues to jump substantially. So we now consider this quarterly announcement. In it, the company has given the details of the quarterly earning for the first quarter of fiscal year 2024, where it has seen its revenues rise to more than $56 billion, which now are higher by 6.1 percentage point if we compare it to the same quarter of last fiscal year. The net sales are higher in most of the geographies, particularly in the US, which is its major focus area, the US and the Canada, the North America. And in its operations worldwide, it has seen growth only, where it is planning to add more stores in coming quarters. First, we look at these comparable sales, where the growth is of 2 percentage point for the US. Canada, it is 6.4%. The international operations have seen substantial jump in double digits, with 11.2% rise being seen there. And the e-commerce sales are also up 6.3 percentage point. The total company sales are up 3.8%. The net income was higher to 1.589 billion US dollars, with the EPS standing at US dollar 3.58 compared to the US dollar 3.077 per share last year. That's almost 17 to 18 percentage point growth in the EPS. The company has also announced a special dividend of $15 per share. This is a huge payout for the company, and it will be spending $6.7 billion for these special dividend. And if we look at its cash pile, the cash at its disposal has now reached the levels of $17 billion. So the company has decided to part with some of it and return it to whom it belongs, that is its shareholders, and it is now handsomely rewarding its investor base, and that is also a positive. The company has been able to declare this simply because it has been earning more for the most recent quarters, where it has seen the accumulation of the cash. The positive cash flow has enabled the company to hand out the special dividend, which is going to be declared in the month of January. It is going to be payable, not declared. It has already been declared. This is the statement of income. The print is not that dark, and because of that you might see some difficulty in looking at its figure. So I would suggest you to access the report from the company's investors relation page. I will read out the key highlights of it. The net sales have seen quite a good improvement, around 6 percentage point. The revenues are higher for this quarter in year-on-year terms. The net income is higher, almost close to 10 percentage point. And if we look at the EPS, the EPS is up 17 to 18 percentage point. As I said in my introductory remarks also, this is being driven as its loyal membership base is deriving the benefit of low inflation in its store merchandise, whereas in economic other sectors, other segments of the economy, we have seen the persistently high inflation for more than a year now, which has been quite difficult to contain even for the Federal Reserve. Sorry for this noise. This is a bird which is there in the vicinity. Let us look at the cash flow statement. This rise of more than 3.3 billion US dollar has enabled the company to declare $15 per share as the bonus amount, the special dividend. Now we head to the JForex 4, the trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the share price of the Costco wholesale, and in it you can see the trajectory with this continuous rise. It is around 20 percentage point up since the start of the month, where it started the month close to 580 level. Now it is at 680, and it is likely to continually rise for the latter part of this month. Of course, there is going to be a holiday curtailed month. We are not likely to see much action in the last week of the year, but nonetheless, we have the strong momentum building up for the Costco wholesale, and it is not going to change anytime soon. So, if you are a short term investor trader, the best thing to do is to go for a buy on dip strategy in the Costco. But given this substantial price rise in its share price, I think it is going to be a bit difficult to find the optimum opportunities maybe we will have to wait for next correction and the consolidation afterwards while paying attention to its recent swing lows to make sure that we don't really see any further correction which is quite deep. If the next correction holds close to the prior swing lows and gives us the hint that now that consolidation is going to coming to an end and the upward momentum is there, we can jump on the bandwagon and try to profit from such a scenario. The outlook for the medium to longer term is not very different. It is also bullish. We had seen the Costco Wholesale's quarterly earnings for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2023, 3 months back. There also I had talked about this momentum being quite favorable for the bulls. If you are investors looking for the opportunity, then that opportunity I think has passed. If your outlook for the Costco was bullish, now we will have to wait a while because after having seen the extended consolidation, it saw this breakout, and from that breakout level it has risen substantially. So for next next big move, we will have to adopt a cautious stance, and even though I would not recommend any kind of short selling at the current juncture, the decision to go long is also going to be risky because it is now on these top of its recent swing highs, and in such an environment, in a bullish run, it is going to be a bit risky to buy at the current juncture. So I think from the medium term perspective, the outlook is bullish, but the opportunity is not there at the current juncture, purely from the point of view of optimum risk reward ratio. Otherwise, there is nothing stopping you. But I would suggest that wait it out, allow it to consolidate after due correction from these ongoing rally, and maybe there we will have the opportunity to invest in it in coming months. For the longer term, the outlook is also bullish, where it has seen this breakout after this long consolidation in the vicinity of $500. And if you are a longer term investor, I think you can still take your chances. The risk reward ratio is still good enough, maybe 1 is to 1 or thereabout, and you will have to take the risk of around 25 percentage point, but that is par for the course. If you are patient and willing to wait for a year or two in such an environment, you can think about going for the buying of the Costco wholesale. But here also the momentum has been bullish for the Costco wholesale for last couple of months, and that has enabled it to scale these new highs, and it is likely to continue on this trajectory in near future as well. The momentum has been bullish for last couple of years, and I don't really think that is going to change anytime soon, as the Costco wholesale has now become the third largest retailer, and it is in a expansion spree. Its membership is increasing and its members are spending more, so that has enabled it to capitalize on this boom and raise its revenues. So that's my outlook looking at the current price formation and the fundamentals of the business of the Costco wholesale, which has seen its share price rally in recent times. So, for newer opportunities, the wait is going to be an essential factor if your outlook is for a couple of weeks, and even if you are simply planning to spend only a couple of sessions, I think still the caution is advised. The trajectory from the short term to the very long term is bullish. It is to adopt a buy on this, and only thing now which we need is a correction from its currently ongoing rally, and there we will be ready. We will be waiting to jump in and get ready for the next rally higher. Now it's time for me to sign off for the day. I would suggest that if you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time around. Goodbye.